5 years ago, a secret lab in the Rocky Mountains went dark. Its scientists vanished. They called it Delta 7, a place of forbidden experiments and unspeakable horrors. Elena Vasquez, and my team was sent to uncover the truth. But something's still here, watching, waiting. Dare to discover the entity that haunts Delta 7. Stick around, if you're brave enough. Date, October 15th, 2025. Location, abandoned research facility deep in the Rocky Mountains. Video log, team leader, Dr. Elena Vasquez. Today is October 15th, 2025. My name is Dr. Elena Vasquez, and I'm the leader of this investigation team. We've been hired by the government to retrieve critical data from the abandoned research facility Delta 7, located in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. The facility was shut down 5 years ago after a series of unexplained incidents, and since then, it has been left untouched. Our team consists of myself, Dr. Marcus Chun, our tech expert, Sarah Jennings, our security officer, and John Ramirez, our logistics coordinator. We're equipped with state-of-the-art recording devices to document our findings, as per the contract. As we approach the facility, I can't help but feel a sense of unease. The area is desolate, with no signs of life for miles. The facility itself is a massive structure, partially hidden by the dense forest. It's said that the research conducted here was top secret, involving experiments on human consciousness and dimensional physics. We've been briefed that the facility was evacuated abruptly, and many of the staff disappeared without a trace. The official report states that there was a containment breach, but details are scarce. Our mission is to enter the facility, locate the main server room, and extract the data stored there. We're also tasked with documenting any anomalies or unusual occurrences. As we park our vehicles near the entrance, I notice that the gates are rusted shut and the surrounding area is overgrown with vegetation. It's as if nature is reclaiming this place. Sarah is checking the perimeter for any signs of recent activity, while Marcus is setting up our communication equipment. John is unloading the gear we'll need inside. I hope this goes smoothly, but something tells me that this place holds more secrets than we're prepared for. Continued from previous log. Before we entered the facility, I thought it would be good to record some background information for the record. The research facility Delta 7 was established in 2015 by a private corporation funded by various government agencies. The official purpose was to study advanced technologies for space exploration, but rumors suggest that they were experimenting with something more sinister. Whistleblowers claimed that the facility was involved in mind control experiments and attempts to open portals to other dimensions. Of course, these are just rumors, but given the circumstances of its closure, it's hard not to wonder. The incident that led to its shutdown occurred on November 3rd, 2020. According to the declassified reports, there was a power surge that caused a massive explosion, followed by a complete loss of communication with the facility. When a rescue team arrived, they found the place deserted, with no signs of the staff or any survivors. Strangely, all the security footage from that day was erased, and the only thing left was a series of encrypted files that our team is tasked to retrieve. As we stand here, preparing to enter, I can feel the weight of this mission. We're not just here to collect data. We're here to uncover the truth behind what happened 5 years ago. Marcus has managed to hack into the facility's security system and open the gates. The power is out, so we'll have to rely on our flashlights and portable generators. Sarah has armed herself with a tranquilizer gun and a taser, just in case we encounter any wildlife or something else. John is carrying the heavy-duty backpacks with our supplies, including food, water, and medical kits. I've decided that we'll stick together at all times. No one goes off alone, no matter what. As we step through the gates, I can't shake the feeling that we're being watched. The air is thick with tension, and the silence is deafening. We make our way to the main entrance, where the doors are sealed shut. Marcus works on the keypad, trying to bypass the lock. After a few minutes, there's a click, and the doors slowly creak open, revealing a dark corridor. The smell that hits us is musty and damp. With a hint of something metallic like blood, we turn on our flashlights and step inside, the beams cutting through the darkness. The interior is just as we expected, abandoned labs. Overturned furniture and papers scattered everywhere. But there's something off. The dust on the floor shows signs of recent disturbance, as if someone or something has been here recently. Sarah points it out, and we all exchange worried glances. Could be animals, John suggests, but his voice lacks conviction. Or squatters, Marcus adds, but I know that's unlikely. This place is too remote, and the security measures were supposed to be impenetrable. We proceed cautiously, making our way to the central hub where the server room is located. As we walk, I notice strange symbols etched into the walls, almost like runes or some kind of ancient language. I make a mental note to photograph them later. Suddenly, we hear a noise coming from one of the side rooms. It sounds like whispering, but when we shine our lights in that direction, there's nothing there. Just the wind, Sarah says, but I can see the doubt in her eyes. We continue, and the feeling of being watched intensifies. Finally, we reach the server room. The door is ajar, and inside, the servers are still humming, powered by some backup generator. Marcus gets to work, connecting his laptop to the main terminal. While he's doing that, I decide to explore the adjacent rooms, but I remember my own rule. No one goes alone. Sarah, come with me, I say, and we leave John to guard Marcus. We enter what appears to be a laboratory. There are cages along the walls, but they're empty. On the tables, there are various scientific instruments, some broken, others covered in a strange residue. In the corner, there's a desk with a computer. I try to turn it on, but it's dead. Then, I notice a journal lying open on the desk. The pages are filled with frantic scribblings, dates from 2020. I start reading aloud for Sarah to hear. October 30th, 2020. The experiments are progressing, but something's wrong. Subject 17 has shown signs of unusual behavior. It's as if he's aware of something we're not. November 1st, 2020, last night, I heard voices in my dreams telling me to open the gate. I don't know what it means, but I'm scared. November 2nd, 2020, the power fluctuations are getting worse. I think we've tapped into something we shouldn't have. Dr. Langdon is pushing us to continue, but I fear for our safety. November 3rd, 2020, it's here. Oh God, it's here. We need to get out. But the doors won't open. The lights are flickering, and I can hear screaming from the other rooms. I don't know if anyone else is still alive. If you find this, please warn others. Don't let them open the gate. The entry ends there, and the next pages are torn out. Sarah and I look at each other, our faces pale. What gate? Sarah asks, her voice trembling. I shake my head. I don't know, but I think we need to find out. Just then, we hear a scream from the server room. We rush back, only to find John on the floor, unconscious, and Marcus staring at the screen. His face ashen. What happened? And we watch in horror as the security footage shows the staff running in panic, chased by something. It's hard to make out, but it looks like a shadowy figure, moving unnaturally fast. Then, the screen goes black, and the last thing we hear is a blood-curdling scream. The video ends, and we're left in silence, the only sound our heavy breathing. We need to get that data and get out of here, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. Marcus nods and starts downloading the files. But as he does, the lights in the server room flicker on, bathing us in a harsh, fluorescent glow. That's when we notice that the door we came through is now closed, and from the other side, we can hear scratching as if something is trying to get in. The scratching at the door stopped about 10 minutes ago, but the silence that followed is worse. It's like the facility is holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. We've barricaded the door with chairs, tables, and some heavy equipment, but I don't know how long it'll hold. The air in here is thick with dust and a faint metallic smell like old blood or rust. It's making my stomach churn. Marcus is still at the computer, trying to finish downloading the data, but his hands are trembling. I've never seen him like this. He's usually so calm, so focused. Sarah is pacing, her flashlight beam slicing through the darkness like a blade. John is slumped in the corner, staring at the door, his face pale. I think he's in shock. I need to keep everyone together, keep them focused, but it's hard when I'm fighting the same fear that's clawing at them. My heart's pounding, and every creak of the building makes me jump. Marcus, how much longer? I ask, forcing my voice to stay steady. Almost done, he mutters, eyes glued to the screen. But there's something else here. Another file encrypted. It could be important. Leave it for now, I say. We need to get out of here as soon as possible. But even as I say it, I know it's not that simple. We can't just walk away without understanding what happened here. We have a responsibility to uncover the truth, to make sure whatever caused this doesn't happen again. Suddenly, the lights flicker, and the hum of the servers cuts out. We're plunged into darkness, the only light coming from our flashlights. What the hell? Sarah snaps, her voice sharp with tension. The power's gone. Marcus says, frustration creeping into his tone. The backup generator must have failed. Can you restart it? I ask. I don't know. The control panel's in the generator room, down the hall. I'll go with you, Sarah says, already moving toward the door. No, I cut in. We stay together. All of us. But as the words leave my mouth, I realize that might not be possible. We need the power back on to finish the download, and we can't all leave the server room unguarded. John, you stay here with Marcus, I decide. Sarah and I will check the generator. John nods, his eyes still fixed on the door, but he stands and moves to Marcus's side. Sarah and I step into the corridor, our flashlights casting long, jittery beams. The facility is a labyrinth of identical hallways, all cold concrete and flickering shadows. The silence is oppressive, broken only by our footsteps and the occasional groan of the building settling. The air grows colder as we move deeper, and I swear I hear faint whispers like voices carried on a breeze. But there's no breeze here. This place is sealed tight. We reach the generator room, and Sarah pushes the door open. Inside, it's a wreck. Wires are torn from panels. Circuit boards are smashed, and there's a strange symbol etched into the wall, jagged, angular, trying to make sense of the chaos. It looks like someone sabotaged it. But who? And why? I don't have an answer. Instead, I start reconnecting wires, my hands moving on autopilot. After a few tense minutes, the generator sputters to life, and the lights flicker back on, but they're dim, pulsing erratically. It's not stable, I say, wiping sweat from my brow. But it'll hold for now. We hurry back to the server room, but when we get there, the door is ajar, and the room is empty. No Yon, no Marcus. John, Marcus, I call, my voice echoing down the corridor. No response. We step inside and my heart sinks. The computer is still on, the data download complete, but their gear is scattered across the floor. And there, leading out of the room, is a trail of what looks like blood, dark, glistening, fresh. "Oh God," Sarah whispers, her hand tightening on her taser. I follow the trail, my flashlight shaking in my grip. It leads down the corridor, toward a room we haven't explored yet. The door is slightly open, and a faint, eerie glow spills out. We push it open and find ourselves in what looks like a laboratory. Old equipment is covered in dust, and papers are strewn across the floor. In the center of the room is a large, circular structure, like a ring or a portal, covered in wires and carved with those same strange runes. And standing in front of it is John, his back to us, staring at the device. "John," I shout, relief flooding through me. He turns slowly, and my breath catches. His eyes are glassy, unfocused, like he's not really seeing us. "Elena," he says, his voice flat, almost mechanical. "I found it. The gate." "What are you talking about?" I step closer, but Sarah grabs my arm, holding me back. Before he can answer, the lights go out again, plunging us into darkness. When they flicker back on, John is gone, and the device is glowing with a sickly, pulsating light. "John!" I scream, spinning around, but he's nowhere in sight. That's when we hear it, a blood-curdling scream, coming from deeper in the facility. It's Marcus. We sprint toward the sound, our flashlights bouncing wildly. The corridors seem to twist and stretch. Trying to keep my voice calm. He was in a lab, talking about a gate. But he's gone again. Marcus shakes his head, his eyes wide with terror. "We need to leave, Elena. Now." "I know," I say, but I can't shake the feeling that we're missing something critical. "Let's get back to the server room, grab the data drive, and get out." We help Marcus to his feet and make our way back. A message typed in stark white letters. "You shouldn't have come here." Below it, that same jagged symbol glowing faintly. Sarah grabs my arm. "Elena, we need to go. Now." I gnaw at my throat tight, and we gather what's left of our gear. We head for the main exit, hoping to find a way out. But when we reach the door, it's sealed shut, the keypad dead. No amount of prying or banging makes it budge. We're trapped. We're still trapped. The doors won't open, and the power keeps flickering. Marcus is missing again, and John, I don't know what's happened to him. Sarah and I are the only ones left, and I'm starting to think we might not make it out of here. After the message appeared on the screen, "You shouldn't have come here," we knew we had to act fast. We decided to split up. Sarah and I would go to the control room to see if we could override the lockdown, while Marcus would stay in the server room to keep an eye on things and try to find another way to restore power. As we made our way through the corridors, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. The air was thick with tension, and every shadow seemed to move on its own. The facility felt different now, like it was alive, breathing, waiting for us to make a mistake. We reached the control room, and it was just as we left it, papers strewn everywhere, monitors dark. But there was something new, a stack of old videotapes labeled incident footage. I don't know why I felt compelled to look at them, but I did. I popped one into the VCR, and the screen flickered to life. It was dated November 3rd, 2020, the day of the incident. The footage showed the staff going about their business. Then suddenly, the lights started flickering. Just like now. People looked confused, then scared. Then, the screaming started. On the screen, a dark shape moved through the halls, fast, too fast to be human. It was hard to make out, but it seemed to absorb the light around it, like a void. The camera shook as the operator ran, and then the feed cut out. My heart was pounding. "What was that?" Sarah whispered. her voice trembling. "I don't know," I said, trying to stay calm. "But I think it's still here." Just then, the power went out again, plunging us into darkness. When emergency lights came on, the control room door was closed, and we could hear the lock engage. We were trapped. We banged on the door, but it wouldn't budge. Then we heard it scratching like claws on metal, coming from the other side. "Elena, what do we do?" Sarah asked, her eyes wide with fear. I didn't have an answer. We were stuck, and whatever was out there knew we were here. After what felt like hours, but was probably only minutes, the scratching stopped, and we heard footsteps fading away. We managed to force the door open with a crowbar we found in the room and rush back to the server room. But when we got there, Marcus was gone. In his place, scrawled on the wall in what looked like blood, was a message. "It's coming for you." My stomach dropped. "Marcus!" I called, but there was no answer. We searched the nearby rooms, and that's when we found him in a room labeled psychological research. He was sitting in a chair, staring at nothing, muttering to himself. "The voices," he said, his voice monotone. "They're telling me things. About the gate. About what's coming." "Marcus, it's me, Elena." "What voices? What are they saying?" I asked, kneeling beside him. He looked at me, but his eyes were distant. "It's not safe here. None of us are safe. It wants us. It wants to take us through the gate." Before I could respond, he stood up abruptly and ran out of the room, disappearing into the darkness. "Marcus, wait!" I shouted, but he was gone. Now it was just Sarah and me. We had to find a way out, but first, we needed to understand what we were dealing with. We decided to head to the gate room, where we had seen John earlier. Maybe there, we could find some answers. As we walked, the facility seemed to twist around us. Corridors that we had passed before now led to dead ends or rooms we hadn't seen. The air grew colder, and I swear I could hear whispers, just barely audible, say my name. Finally, we found the gate room. The circular device was there, glowing with a faint, pulsating light. It looked like some kind of portal with strange symbols etched around it. Then, we heard a voice, John's voice, calling from behind the gate. "Help me," it said. "Please help me." We approached cautiously. "John, is that you?" I called. The glowing intensified. With no features, just darkness. It reached out towards us, and I felt the pull like it was trying to draw us in. We screamed and ran, but the facility was maze-like now, and we couldn't find our way back. Doors slammed shut behind us, and the lights flickered erratically. Finally, we found a small storage room and barricaded the door with whatever we could find. We sat there, panting, listening to the scratching at the door, knowing that whatever was out there was getting closer. I don't know how much longer we can last. If anyone finds this, please, don't come here. Don't open the gate. It's not worth it. The scratching at the door has stopped. For now, Sarah and I have been huddled in this storage room for what feels like hours, but it's probably only been minutes. The air is stale, heavy with the smell of dust and something metallic like old blood. Our flashlights cast long, jittery shadows on the walls, and I can hear my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. We can't stay here forever. I whisper, more to myself than to Sarah. We need to find a way out, or at least find Marcus and John. Sarah nods, her face pale in the dim light. All right, but we have to be careful. That thing is still out there. I take a deep breath and stand, my legs trembling. We carefully move the barricade of crates and shelves from the door and press our ears against it. Silence. Too quiet, like the facility is holding its breath. I turn the handle slowly and push the door open. The corridor outside is pitch black, and our flashlights reveal something unsettling. The walls curve in ways they didn't before, and there are doors where there were none. The concrete looks warped, almost organic, like it's breathing. This place is changing, Sarah mutters, her voice barely above a whisper. It's like it's alive. We step out, trying to retrace our steps to the main entrance, but nothing looks familiar. We turn a corner and find a hallway we've never seen. The floor is covered in a thick layer of dust, disturbed by fresh handprints, as if someone, or something, was dragged along the walls. My stomach twists. Let's keep moving, I say, forcing confidence into my voice, though I feel none. We pass several doors, all locked or leading to empty rooms littered with broken equipment. Then, we find one slightly ajar. Inside is an office. Frozen in time, a desk sits in the center, covered with scattered papers, a computer, and a whiteboard scrawled with equations and symbols. Those same jagged runes we saw on the gate. On the desk, there's a faded photo of a family smiling, oblivious to the horrors that unfolded here, and a coffee mug with the facility's logo, half full of moldy liquid. I approach the desk and pick up a worn notebook, its pages yellowed. It's a journal dated 2020. I start reading aloud, my voice shaking. October 15th, 2020. Today, we initiated the first test of the dimensional gate. Our goal is to access parallel universes to explore new frontiers of science. The initial results are promising, but there are anomalies in the data. We're picking up energy signatures that don't match any known physics. November 1st, 2020. The tests are progressing, but the team is on edge. Last night, Dr. Langdon reported hearing voices in his quarters. He thinks it's stress, but I'm not so sure. There's something about this gate. It's like it's watching us. November 3rd, 2020. Something came through. Oh God, it's here. It's not from our universe. It's different. The laws of physics don't apply to it. It's intelligent, malevolent. We need to close the gate, but I don't know how. The power is fluctuating, and I can hear it moving through the walls. It's changing the facility, bending reality. We're trapped. The entry ends abruptly, the last words scrawled in a frantic hand. I look at Sarah, who's staring at the computer screen. It's on, somehow despite the power outages, and a video file is open, labeled Gate Activation Log. Play it, she says, her voice tight. I click play, and the screen flickers to life, showing the gate room 5 years ago. Scientists bustle around the circular device, which glows with a bright, pulsating light. Then there's a surge, and the light turns dark, almost black, swallowing the room. The scientists panic, shouting, and then it appears. A figure, tall and thin, made of writhing shadows. With no face, just a void where features should be. It moves toward them, unnaturally fast, and the camera shakes as the operator runs. Screams echo through the speakers, then the feed cuts to static. My hands tremble. That's what we saw. I say, barely audible. That's what's here with us. Suddenly, the office lights flicker on, blinding us. When they stabilize, the door is closed. And we hear footsteps outside, slow, deliberate, like something stalking us. We need to hide, Sarah whispers, gripping her taser. But before we can move, the door swings open, and there stands John. But it's not John. His eyes are black, like pools of ink, and his skin is pale, almost translucent. He smiles a grotesque, unnatural grin that stretches too wide. You can't leave, he says, his voice echoing, as if coming from every corner of the room. It won't let you. He lunges, and we scramble to escape. Sarah grabs a chair and swings it at him, but he dodges with inhuman speed. I grab her arm, and we bolt past him into the corridor. We sprint down the hall, turning corners at random, trying to lose him. But every time I glance back, he's there, always the same distance away, that horrible smile fixed on his face. The air grows colder, and the walls seem to pulse, closing in. We reach a fork in the corridor. Left or right? I choose left, but Sarah veers right. Sarah, wait. I shout, but she's already gone, swallowed by the darkness. I keep running, my breath ragged, until I find a door that opens. I slam it shut behind me and lean against it, panting, my flashlight shaking in my hand. I'm in a cafeteria. Overturned tables are scattered across the floor, and the stench of rotten food fills the air. Dust coats everything, but what stops me cold is the window. Outside, there are no mountains, no trees, just a black, starless void, like the edge of existence. I back away, my mind reeling. This can't be real. Then, I hear it, a whisper right behind me. Elena. I spin around, but there's nothing. Just shadows, shifting in ways they shouldn't. I fumble with my camera, turning it on and pointing it around the room. The screen shows static, then clears to reveal me. But it's not me. My eyes are black, like John's, and my mouth twists into that same unnatural smile. I drop the camera, screaming, and the tables begin to move, scraping across the floor on their own. Chairs slide toward me, as if drawn by an invisible force. I grab the camera and run to the door, but it's locked. I pound on it, shouting for help, but the only response is the sound of my own voice distorted, echoing back from the void outside. Then, I hear Sarah's voice, faint and desperate, calling for help. I search frantically and find a side door, partially open. I push through and stumble into another corridor, the walls now slick with something dark and viscous. I follow Sarah's voice, but it's distant, echoing unnaturally. As I turn a corner, I see her, lying on the floor, motionless. I rush to her side, checking for a pulse. She's alive, but her breathing is shallow, and her skin is cold. Above her, etched into the wall, is that same jagged symbol from the gate, glowing faintly. Then I feel it, a presence behind me, heavy, suffocating. I turn slowly, and there it is, the entity closer than ever. Its form is indistinct, a mass of writhing shadows, but I can feel its malice, its hunger, boring into me. I scream, and everything goes black. I don't know how long I've been out. My head throbs, and every muscle aches. I'm lying on a cold, hard surface, and when I open my eyes, I'm not in the cafeteria anymore. I'm in a laboratory, but it's not one I recognize. The equipment is bizarre, twisted, as if designed by someone with a different understanding of physics. I sit up slowly, my vision blurring momentarily. My camera is still on, recording, though I don't recall turning it back on. The battery's low, but it's still functioning. I scan the room, trying to orient myself. Flickering fluorescent lights cast a dim glow, and a low hum, like machinery, fills the air. But there's another sound, a faint whispering just at the edge of hearing. I stand, wincing at the pain in my side. I must have been thrown when I blacked out. I check for injuries. Aside from bruises, I seem fine. Sarah, I call, my voice echoing in the empty room. No response. I need to find her fast. But first, I need to know where I am. I explore the lab cautiously, avoiding the strange instruments. Crystals pulsing with light, tubes swirling with liquid, screens displaying equations that make my head spin. Then I see it. A door at the far end, slightly ajar. From beyond, I hear Sarah's voice call my name. Elena, help me. I rush toward the door, but as I near, the whispering grows louder, more insistent. It's saying something, but I can't make it out, like a language I don't know, or just sound meant to unsettle me. I push the door open and step into a corridor, stretching into darkness. The walls are lined with those strange, faintly glowing symbols. Sarah, I shout again, but there's no reply now. Just silence and that relentless whispering. I walk down the corridor. my flashlight cutting through the gloom. The air is thick, hard to breathe, and I feel watched. Suddenly, footsteps echo behind me. I spin around, but there's nothing. Just shadows. I keep moving, heart pounding. The corridor seems endless, twisting in ways that defy logic. It's like the facility is alive, reshaping itself to confuse me. Then a figure stands ahead, motionless. It's John, staring at me with those black eyes. John, I say, stepping forward. He doesn't respond, just tilts his head, curious. I take another step, and he lunges, moving faster than humanly possible. I scream and run, but the corridor changes, a dead end appearing where none was before. I'm trapped with John, or whatever he is, closing in. Just as he reaches me, a flash of light blinds me, and he vanishes as if he was never there. I collapse against the wall, gasping. What's happening? Is this real, or am I losing my mind? I need to find Sarah, but I also need to escape this place. Maybe the gate room holds answers to closing it. But first, I have to survive. I stand and walk on, more cautiously, eyes scanning the walls for signs or maps. After what feels like hours, I find a door labeled Control Center. It's locked, but I force it open with my shoulder. Inside, it's chaos, smashed monitors, scattered papers, and a body slumped over a desk. I approach warily, dreading what I'll find. It's Dr. Langdon, the scientist from the journal. He's dead, his face frozen in terror, eyes wide, staring at nothing. On the desk, a computer is on, displaying a file. Goteclosure protocols. I sit and read. It's technical, but I grasp it. Closing the gate requires reversing the energy field's polarity, needing a massive power surge beyond the facility's capacity. A note at the bottom reads, "In emergencies, use the basement backup generator. Warning, it may not suffice, and the process is dangerous." I glance around and spot a facility map on the wall, marking the basement deep underground. I need to get there, but first, Sarah, I can't leave her. As if on cue, I hear her voice, faint, from another part of the control center. I follow it to a small office, where she lies on the floor, her leg twisted unnaturally. She's barely conscious. "Sarah," I rush to her side. "What happened?" "The entity," she gasps. "It threw me. My leg's broken. Can you walk?" She shakes her head. "No, but you have to go. Close the gate. It's the only way." "I'm not leaving you," I say firmly. "You must," she insists. "If you don't, we're all dead. Take my taser and go. Find the basement, close the gate." I hesitate, but know she's right. I take her taser and stand. "I'll come back for you," I promise. She nods, eyes closing. "Hurry." I leave, heart heavy, and head to the exit. But the corridor has changed again. The path to the basement is gone. I search and find a staircase leading down. It's dark, narrow, each step creaking. The whispering is louder here, almost deafening. I reach the basement, darker than above, my flashlight my only guide. The air is damp, musty. The generator sits in the corner, a dusty industrial machine, silent. I approach and find a control panel beside it, old-fashioned with dials and switches. I need to overload it, but then a low growl sounds behind me, like an animal. I turn slowly, shining my light. Something's there, a hunched shape with glowing eyes. It's not John or Sarah. It's something monstrous. I back away, gripping the taser, knowing it won't be enough. It lunges and I fire the taser, but it has no effect. Its claws reach for me. I scream and run, but the basement is a dead end. As it's about to pounce, a blinding light flashes and the creature vanishes, leaving me alone. Gasping, I realize the entity is toying with me, feeding on my fear. I must focus. I have to close the gate. I return to the generator and work on it. After trial and error, I get it running. Now to overload it. I find a switch labeled Emergency Overload and pull it. The generator roars, the noise deafening. Everything goes white, and I feel like I'm being torn apart. I wake in the control center, no memory of how I got here. The monitors show the gate is closed, but Sarah's gone, and a note on the desk reads, "It's not over yet." I wake with a gasp, my body aching as if I've been thrown against a wall. The air is heavy, thick with a sickly sweet smell that clings to my throat. I'm lying on a cold, uneven floor, and when I open my eyes, I'm in a corridor that doesn't belong in the Delta 7 I know. The walls are warped, bending inward like they're breathing, and the ceiling drips with a dark, viscous liquid that pools in corners. My camera is still on, recording, though the screen flickers with static. I don't know how I got here. The last thing I remember is Sarah's hands around my throat, her black eyes gleaming, and then the entity. Its touch was like ice burning through me. I thought I was dead. I stand, my legs trembling, and check my gear. The taser is gone, but I still have my flashlight, its beam cutting through the oppressive darkness. The whispering is back. Just the whispers, growing more insistent. I need to find her, or at least figure out what's happening. The note said, "It's not over yet," and I'm starting to believe it. Closing the gate didn't stop the entity. It's still here, and it's stronger than ever. I move forward, the corridor twisting in ways that defy logic. Doors appear where there were none, and the symbols on the walls pulse with a sickly green light. I feel like I'm walking through a living organism, not a building. After what feels like hours, I hear a faint sob. It's Sarah. I follow the sound, my heart pounding, until I reach a door labeled Observation Room. It's ajar, and inside, Sarah is slumped against the wall, her face buried in her hands. "Sarah." I rush to her side, kneeling. "Are you okay?" She looks up, and my blood runs cold. Her eyes are black, but there's a flicker of recognition, as if she's fighting something inside her. "Elena." She whispers, her voice trembling. "It's using me. It wants you." "What does it want?" I ask, my voice shaking. "It feeds on fear," she says, her body twitching. "It's been here since the gate opened. It's not just one thing, it's everything." Before I can respond, her expression changes, becoming cold and predatory. "You shouldn't have come," she says. Her voice no longer hers. It's deep, resonant, like 1,000 voices speaking at once. She lunges, and I scramble back, barely avoiding her grasp. I run, slamming the door behind me. But I hear her, or it, laughing, a sound that echoes through the walls. I keep moving, desperate to find a way out or something to fight back with. The facility is a maze now. Corridors looping back on themselves, walls shifting when I'm not looking. I'm not sure if I'm running from Sarah or towards something worse. Eventually, I stumble into a room filled with filing cabinets and a single computer still powered on. I lock the door and start searching the files, hoping for answers. I find a folder labeled Entity Analysis and open it. The documents are chilling. The entity isn't a single being, but a collective consciousness from a dimension where fear is a tangible force. The gate was meant to access parallel universes, but it tapped into this place instead, a realm of pure terror. The researchers tried to contain it, but it learned to manipulate them, feeding on their fear until they were consumed. There's a note about a device in the control room, a resonance disruptor designed to destabilize the entity's form by emitting a specific frequency. If I can activate it, I might be able to weaken the entity and reopen the gate to send it back. I hear scratching at the door, followed by Sarah's voice, now distorted. "Elena, let me in. We can be together." I ignore her and focus on the computer, downloading the disruptor schematics. The scratching grows louder, and the door begins to buckle. I grab the files and run, finding another exit. The corridors are even more distorted now, with floors that tilt and walls that seem to scream. I follow signs to the control room, praying I'm not too late. When I reach it, the room is a wreck, console sparking, screen shattered. In the center, the resonance disruptor sits, a sleek device with a single red button. I approach, but Sarah steps out of the shadows. Her smile grotesque. "You can't stop it," she says. "It's part of you now." I dodge as she lunges, grabbing a broken pipe from the floor. "Sarah, fight it!" I shout, but she only laughs. I swing the pipe, hitting her arm, but it barely slows her. She grabs me, pinning me against the console. Her touch is cold, unnatural, and I feel the entity's presence seeping into me, whispering promises of eternal fear. With a surge of adrenaline, I break free and slam my hand on the disruptor's button. A high-pitched whine fills the room, and Sarah screams, her form flickering like a bad signal. The air shudders, and the gate in the corner of the room begins to glow, reopening with a deafening roar. I grab Sarah, hoping to pull her through, to save her somehow. But as we near the gate, the entity emerges, a towering mass of writhing shadows, its form shifting between faces. John, Marcus, the researchers, and now Sarah. It reaches for me. It's touched like 1,000 needles. I scream, and the world dissolves into darkness. I don't know where I am. One moment, I was in the control room, the resonance disruptor screaming, the gate roaring back to life. Then, the entity reached for me. Its touch like 1,000 frozen needles, and everything went black. Now, I'm here wherever here is. My camera's still recording, though the screen flickers with static and the battery's draining fast. I'm standing in a corridor, but it's not the Delta 7 I know. The walls are slick, pulsing like flesh, and the air is thick with a metallic tang, like blood mixed with rust. The ceiling drips with a dark, viscous liquid that hisses when it hits the floor. There's no gravity here, or at least, it feels wrong. Every step makes me feel like I'm floating, then crashing down. The whispers are everywhere, a chorus of voices that seem to come from inside my head. They're saying my name, taunting me, promising things I don't want to hear. I try to ignore them, but they're relentless, clawing at my sanity. "Sarah? Marcus? John?" I call, my voice echoing unnaturally, swallowed by the darkness. No response, just the whispers growing louder. I need to find a way out, or at least understand where I am. This place feels like the entity's domain, a dimension it controls. If I'm going to survive, I need to move. I start walking, my flashlight beam trembling in my hand. The corridor twists, branching into impossible directions, up, down, sideways, defying logic. Doors appear and vanish, some leading to rooms that shouldn't exist. One opens to a perfect replica of my childhood home, but the furniture is warped, the walls bleeding, and my family's photos show black-eyed faces staring back. I slam the door shut, my heart pounding. This isn't real, I tell myself, but feels real, too real. Another door leads to a lab, filled with floating instruments and screens displaying equations that hurt to look at. In the center, there's a figure, Dr. Langdon, the scientist from the journal. His skin is gray, his eyes empty. But he's alive, or something like it. "Dr. Langdon?" I ask, stepping closer. He turns, his movements jerky, like a puppet. "You shouldn't be here," he says, his voice a hollow echo. "But you're exactly where it wants you. What is this place?" I demand. "What does it want?" He smiles, a grotesque stretch of lips. "This is its home. It feeds on fear, on pain. You've given it so much already." I back away, but the door behind me is gone. How do I get out? You don't, he says, stepping closer. But you can destroy it. The heart, it's in the core of this place. Find it, break it, and you might escape. But it won't let you go easily. Before I can ask more, his body convulses, and shadows pour from his mouth, forming a shape, tall, thin, faceless. The entity. I run, the lab dissolving behind me, replaced by a new corridor, endless and suffocating. I keep moving, the whispers now screams, telling me to give up, to surrender. But I won't. I can't. I owe it to Sarah, Marcus, John, to myself. After what feels like hours, I find a chamber, its walls alive, pulsing with a sickly green light. In the center, there's a sphere, black and writhing, like a heart made of shadow. This must be it, the entity's core. I approach, and the air grows heavy, pressing against my chest. The sphere pulses faster, and shadows form around me. My team, their faces twisted, accusing. You failed us, they say, their voices overlapping. I shake my head, tears streaming down my face. I'm trying to save you. I grab a piece of jagged metal from the floor and raise it, ready to strike the sphere. But the shadows lunge, their hands cold and sharp, pulling me back. I scream, fighting, but they're too strong. Then, I hear Sarah's voice, faint but clear. Elena, don't give up. It's enough. I break free, slamming the metal into the sphere. It cracks, releasing a wave of energy that knocks me to the ground. The chamber shakes, walls collapsing, and a blinding light engulfs me. I wake up outside the facility, the ruins smoldering under a gray sky. The camera's still in my hand, recording. I'm alive, but the whispers are still there, faint, promising to return. I'm outside now, sitting among the ruins of Delta 7. The facility is gone, reduced to ash and twisted metal, but I'm not safe. The air is heavy with smoke, and the forest around me feels alive, watching. My camera's battery is low, but I need to keep recording. If I don't, no one will believe what I've seen. I thought destroying the entity's heart would end it. I thought I'd won. But as I stumbled out of that collapsing dimension, I saw it. A shadow, fleeting, watching me from the trees. And its voice, that horrible, whispering voice. You can't destroy me, Elena. I'm part of you now. I try to leave, to find help, but the forest is wrong. The paths twist, leading back to the ruins, and the trees seem to move when I'm not looking. Every step, I hear it. My name, whispered by voices that aren't human. I shine my flashlight, but there's nothing, just shadows that vanish when I look too long. I set up camp near the ruins, hoping to rest. But sleep is impossible. When I close my eyes, I see them. Marcus, John, Sarah, their faces warped, their eyes black, reaching for me. I wake up screaming, and the whispers are louder, closer. Last night, I found something in my bag, a piece of the gate, etched with those glowing symbols. I don't remember taking it, but it's here, burning my hand when I touch it. I threw it into the ruins. But I swear I saw it move, pulsing like it's alive. I need to know if it's really over. I decide to search the ruins, looking for answers. The debris is hot, and the air stinks of charred metal. But I push through. I find a journal, half-burned, with frantic scribbles. The entity isn't one thing. It's many. Destroying the heart weakens it, but pieces remain, hiding, waiting. My stomach drops. Pieces. That's why it's still here, why I can't escape. I hear a noise, a low, guttural growl like an animal. I spin around, shining my light, and see it, a figure, crawling through the rubble, its limbs bent at wrong angles. It's not human, not anymore. It's one of the researchers, or what's left of them, their face a twisted mask of shadow. I run. Tripping over debris, my camera shaking. The thing follows, its growls echoing, joined by others. There's more than one. I find a cave near the ruins, hidden by trees, and crawl inside. It's cold, damp, and the walls are covered in those symbols, glowing faintly. I sit, panting, trying to think. The journal said pieces remain. If I can find them, destroy them, maybe I can end this. But then, I hear it. Sarah's voice, calling from deeper in the cave. Elena, help me. I want to believe it's her, but I know better. Still, I can't leave her not again. I follow the voice, my flashlight trembling, and find a chamber, its walls pulsing like a living thing. In the center, there's a fragment of the gate, glowing, surrounded by shadows that move like liquid. Sarah steps out, her eyes black, her smile wrong. You can't stop it, she says, her voice a chorus of whispers. Join us. I scream, and the shadows lunge, their touch like ice. I swing my flashlight, smashing the gate fragment. It shatters, and the shadows scream, dissolving into nothing. I collapse, gasping, but the whispers are still there, fainter but not gone. I crawl out of the cave, back to the ruins, knowing it's not over. I'm back among the ruins, my hands still trembling from the cave. The air is thick with ash, and the smell of burnt metal clings to my skin. My camera's battery is dying, but I need to keep recording. If I don't, no one will believe what's happening. I thought shattering that gate fragment would stop it. I thought I'd weaken the entity. But as I crawled out of the cave, I saw it, a shadow, tall and thin, watching me from the trees. Its voice, that horrible whisper, echoed in my head. You can't destroy me, Elena. I'm part of you now. The forest is wrong. The trees lean in, their branches twisting like fingers. Every step, I hear my name, whispered by voices that aren't human. I shine my flashlight, but there's nothing, just shadows that vanish when I look too long. I set up camp near the ruins, hoping to rest, but sleep is impossible. When I close my eyes, I see them. Marcus, John, Sarah, their faces twisted, their eyes black, reaching for me. I wake up screaming, and the whispers are louder, closer. Last night, I found something in the ruins, a piece of the gate, glowing faintly, etched with those symbols. I don't know how it got there, but it burns when I touch it. I buried it under rubble, but I swear I heard it hum like it's alive. I need to end this. The journal said the entity's pieces remain, hiding, waiting. If I can find them all, destroy them, maybe I can stop it. I search the ruins, the debris hot under my feet. I find another journal, half burned, with a new entry. The entity's fragments are drawn to fear. They feed on it, grow stronger. Destroy them before they merge, or it will return whole. My heart sinks. Merge. That's why it's still here, why the whispers won't stop. I hear a growl, low and guttural, from the rubble. I spin around, shining my light, and see it, a figure crawling, its limbs bent at impossible angles. It's not human, not anymore. It's another researcher, their face a mask of shadow. I run, tripping over debris, my camera shaking. The thing follows, its growls joined by others. There's more than one. I find another cave, hidden by trees, and crawl inside. It's cold, damp, and the walls are covered in those symbols, glowing faintly. I sit, panting, trying to think. The journal said the fragments feed on fear. If I can face mine, maybe I can weaken them. I hear Sarah's voice, calling from deeper in the cave. Elena, help me. I know it's not her, but I can't stop myself. I follow the voice, my flashlight trembling, and find a chamber, its walls pulsing like a living thing. In the center, there's another gate fragment, glowing, surrounded by shadows that move like liquid. Sarah steps out, her eyes black, her smile wrong. You can't stop it, she says, her voice a chorus of whispers. Join us. I scream, and the shadows lunge, their touch like ice. I grab a rock and smash the fragment, and it shatters, releasing a wave of energy that knocks me back. The shadows scream, dissolving into nothing. I crawl out, gasping, but the whispers are still there, fainter but not gone. I know there's more, and I'm running out of time. The sun's rising, casting a pale light over the ruins of Delta 7, but it doesn't bring any comfort. The air is heavy, thick with the stench of ash and something sweeter. Like decay. My camera's battery is on its last legs, flickering, but I need to keep recording. If I don't, no one will know what happened here. No one will believe me. I thought I could end it. I thought destroying the gate fragments would stop the entity. After shattering the piece in the cave, I hoped the whispers would fade, that the shadows would vanish. But they haven't. They're quieter, but they're still here, slithering in the corners of my mind, whispering my name when I try to sleep. I haven't slept in days. Every time I close my eyes, I see them. Marcus, John, Sarah, their faces warped, their eyes black, begging me to join them. I wake up screaming, my heart pounding, and the forest around me feels alive, watching, waiting. The trees seem to lean closer, their branches scraping the ground like claws. I found another fragment yesterday, buried in the rubble, glowing faintly with those cursed symbols. I smashed it with a rock, and for a moment, the whispers stopped. But then they came back, louder, angrier, promising revenge. The journal was right. The entity's pieces feed on fear, and I'm giving it plenty. I know there's one more fragment. I can feel it like a weight in my chest, pulling me back to the ruins. If I can find it, destroy it, maybe I can end this. Maybe I can save myself. I start searching, my flashlight cutting through the morning mist. The ruins are a maze of twisted metal and ash, but I push forward, ignoring the whispers that grow louder with every step. I hear footsteps behind me, but when I turn, there's nothing, just the wind, or so I tell myself. Then I see it, a faint glow buried under a pile of debris. I dig, my hands bleeding from the sharp edges, and pull out the final fragment. It's larger than the others, pulsing like a heart, its surface crawling with symbols that seem to writhe under my gaze. I raise a rock, ready to smash it, but the whispers turn to screams, deafening, filling my head with images of my team, their bodies broken, their voices accusing. You failed us, Elena, they say, their faces appearing in the mist. You brought us here. You killed us. I scream, dropping the rock, and the fragment pulses faster, the glow blinding. The ground shakes, and shadows rise from the ruins, forming shapes. Marcus, John, Sarah, and others, researchers I never met, their eyes black, their mouths stretched into grotesque smiles. Join us, they say, their voices a chorus of whispers. Be part of us. I grab the rock again, but Sarah's shadow steps forward, her hand cold as it grips my wrist. You can't stop it, she says, her voice echoing with the entity's malice. It's in you now. I wrench free, tears streaming down my face, and smash the fragment with all my strength. It shatters, releasing a wave of energy that knocks me back, the shadows screaming as they dissolve. The ground stops shaking, and the whispers fade, leaving only silence. I lie there, gasping, my body trembling. Is it over? Did I do it? I stand, my legs weak, and look around. The ruins are still. The mist clearing, the forest quiet. For the first time in days, I feel a flicker of hope. I grab my camera and start walking, determined to find help, to get as far from this place as possible. But as I reach the edge of the forest, I hear it, A faint whisper, barely audible but unmistakable. "You can't escape me, Elena." I freeze, my heart pounding. I shine my flashlight. But there's nothing. Just trees, just shadows. I tell myself it's my imagination, that I'm free. I keep walking, the path leading to a dirt road. In the distance, I see headlights, a rescue team. Maybe you're hikers. I wave, shouting, and they stop, their faces blurred in the dawn light. They're human, real, not shadows. They take me to a hospital, and I'm safe, or so they tell me. The doctors say I'm dehydrated, traumatized, but I'll recover. They don't believe my story, but I don't care. I am alive. Days pass, and I'm discharged, sent to a motel to wait for debriefing. I try to move on, to forget, but the whispers are still there, faint like a radio tuned to the wrong frequency. I ignore them, telling myself it's just trauma, just my mind. But tonight, as I sit in my room, the camera off, I see it a shadow fleeting in the corner of my eye. I turn, but it's gone. Then my phone buzzes, and a video file appears, one I didn't record. I play it, and it's me, in the ruins, smashing the final fragment. But behind me, in the mist, there's a figure, tall and thin, watching. The video ends, and the whispers grow louder, saying, "I'm still here. Elena, I'll always be here." I scream, and the lights flicker, plunging the room into darkness. When they come back on, there's a symbol on the wall, etched in black, glowing faintly. The camera battery dies, and the screen goes black. The above story is completely untrue. I just bring you a story to relax your mind before going to bed. If you find it interesting, don't forget to like. Subscribe to the channel to receive notifications about upcoming videos as soon as possible. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video.